Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep! Today we are covering Boruto Chapter 55 and it was fire! Actually, no. I know it's tradition every month to be hyped, but this isn't the time for that. It hit differently this time round. Every Naruto fan is so conflicted right now. Like, man's out here going through the 6 stages of grief. Some of us are in denial or angry, whilst others have accepted it already. I'm personally very conflicted with the direction of Boruto, just like everyone else. I'm going to wait for everything to marinate because I don't want to jump to any conclusions regarding what Kishimoto has planned. But that doesn't stop me from playing devil's advocate and venting different opinions on the many events that unfolded. Obviously, with Kurama now dead and Naruto losing something so meaningful to him, it hurts, and I'm angry just like you.
So much pain!
I'm definitely upset that Kurama had to sacrifice himself to a character like Isshiki Otsutsuki, who ended up being someone that didn't fulfill his potential of being an S-tier villain. Naruto is a character that all of us can relate to at every stage of his life. I personally feel very connected to his character as I gradually grew up with him and have experienced the same things he did in his life. Naruto is an inspiration to all of us that we can achieve our dreams just as he did. Kurama was a very important friend to him that helped him achieve his dreams, and he developed a relationship with the readers similarly with Naruto over 20 years since 1999. Naruto taught the readers a lesson regarding judgment and how one should tackle the hatred within relationships to achieve true peace. Kurama was one of these characters he acted selfless upon, and in return this created an unbreakable bond where he ended up advising Naruto on multiple occasions during fights such as against Sasuke, Madara and more. Kurama has witnessed Naruto get married, become Hokage, the birth of his children, as well as look after him whilst he sleeps as protection. Like, I'm gonna admit it right now, after the Twitch stream, I read the chapter again to do this video for YouTube, and I teared up, man! You cannot imagine Naruto as a character without Kurama and vice versa.
Oi! Kurama! 俺と離れて寂しくなかったか？会いたかったぜ！
でけえ声して呼ぶな。寂しくなんかねえよ。わしの半分はそっち入ってんだろうが。
Now, as I said, I'm waiting for the chapter to marinate, as Isshiki definitely had the core principles required to be a great character. His ideology is pretty simple but very effective, much like Frieza from Dragon Ball. But certain fans, including us, wanted him to be even greater than that, and there's nothing wrong in having that opinion. Isshiki is an alien that sees all other life forms as inferior and wants to take them all out for his own power to become a god that is worshipped. He believes in the ideology of the Osutsuki, which is essentially predator vs prey, the humans on earth being the prey in the form of life force energy for the chakra fruit. Boruto as a manga is following the footsteps of Naruto, where it stays true to its philosophical debate regarding what makes a shinobi, what does it mean to be human, and how technology helped or destroyed society in the changing times. The clash of ideologies has always been the case, with every villain having their own perception of reality. Kishimoto intended this, and with Isshiki Otsutsuki in chapter 55, he passes on his will of fire per se to someone named Code, and this will now clash with Boruto, continuing the cycle. Isshiki Otsutsuki is using Code as a tool, whilst Boruto is representing humans that are not tools. One could break the shackles of fate through trials and tribulations. However, one major factor that burns with Kurama's death is the fact that a character like Isshiki Otsutsuki took him out when he had no backstory or lore backing him up to earn the respect of being the one that achieves this. Think about Undertaker from WWE for a second. The dude had a 21 win streak in WrestleMania. If some nobody made Undertaker lose the streak, everyone would have gone ballistic. However, it was Brock Lesnar that did it, someone that the community respected and earned his merit. So it's up to you whether or not Isshiki earned yours to make Kurama die. Everything regarding the Otsutsuki is fresh with new rules and lore that were not established at all in Naruto. Kishimoto admits that he messed things up with the end of Naruto's war arc since he was so tired. Therefore, in Boruto, the writing is trying to rectify all of these mistakes previously made. That's perfectly fine. In fact, that's actually amazing, and that's why I like Boruto so much, and I believe it's a justified sequel. But at this point of time, the fact still remains that we don't know why Isshiki is not mentioned in the anime at all by Momoshiki, Kaguya, or the others. We do not know how this dude created Kara and met Amado. How did they create their technology? We do not know how he met the other Kara members and what the concept of a wish even is. It's been over 50 monthly chapters and we still don't have a fleshed out understanding of Isshiki. Everything seems to be surface level with this dude. We didn't have Isshiki's point of view with flashbacks, and this takes away the emotional attachment we would have had when he died. We literally have no answers to Isshiki's overall actions other than the fact that he is an Otsutsuki. Everything about it is just on that basis. There is no greater reasoning revealed to what makes Isshiki Isshiki. He's a husk of a character that didn't fulfill his maximum potential on defining what makes him an individual rather than a clan called Otsutsuki. So the question that I'm asking, are you the strongest because you're Otsutsuki, or are you Otsutsuki because you're the strongest? A lot of questions have been left unanswered. Where was Isshiki when the 4th war was happening and Kage was released? Wasn't this going to foil his plans if Naruto and Sasuke didn't succeed in winning? Kage is the one that betrayed him and almost took over the entire earth. When did Isshiki plant the 10-tail fruit again? Why didn't Isshiki contact the other Osutsuki patriarch like Urishiki did? Why didn't Momoshiki witness Isshiki's dimensional numbers change instead of Kage's that informed them, oh wait, we need to visit Earth's planet? When Kinshiki told him, oh no, Kage's betrayed us, why isn't Isshiki mentioned? This is why a certain crowd of fans see these events coming so out of left field. And then suddenly, this man named Isshiki Otsutsuki takes out my G Kurama, the mandem that I've known for 16 years, and this dude Isshiki almost killed and nerfed our beloved characters named Naruto and Sasuke. So of course, this results in fans being sad, mad, or upset because we're ignorant of the lore that the anime will probably try to cover. Now look, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm gonna provide two sides of the argument. We can argue that this was also the case for the Akatsuki in Naruto. We are looking back at that particular manga holistically and can connect everything much easier. The Akatsuki didn't have much of a backstory for every character for quite a while until they were introduced and they fought someone. We didn't even know their objectives until later on. But you know, I'm still gonna say Kara has nothing on the Akatsuki. Akatsuki are just way better at everything. Yo! Let's go back to the video. However, when it was time, Akatsuki were fleshed out beyond our imagination. Even for characters like Sasori, we had a flashback on explaining why he became a villain, right? We can only hope that Kara will get a similar treatment. At the end of the day, this is the direction Kishimoto has taken. And for now, we need to have faith that he will make Boruto a justified sequel by the time we get to the end. Please don't get me wrong. I honestly think this chapter was good, but my feelings and thoughts looking back at everything, it's all over the place just like you. I'm human just like you guys. And on top of that, I am not saying killing an OG character is not allowed and is stupid. Everything should be on the table if the writing is good and justified to meet that result. So make sure to let me know honestly what you think about Kurama's death in Boruto chapter 55 in the comment section below. I need to see genuine answers from you guys. From which argument do you support? Do you support that Isshiki was a justifiable person and an amazing character that deserved to kill Kurama? Or are you on the other side of the argument? We now have to accept that Boruto has evolved the Naruto universe to be entirely about aliens rather than anything else. Ikimoto confirmed that the time skip is pretty soon in an interview, and fans presume that that means it's this year. So here's hoping for the best. So let's begin explaining Boruto chapter 55 in detail. But before I begin, I'd appreciate if you can smash that like button for me right now. We have to respect Kurama's sacrifice, and I want to see as much support as possible on this video. Also, hit the notification bell to join the community on the channel since we cover Boruto on a weekly basis. We also have Team 7 merch that we have just launched. You can get 10% off if you use the code Boruto55. Thank you to anyone that has bought our merch and are supporting us financially. And we also have more Boruto content on the way, as a lot of you are questioning how strong are Naruto and Sasuke after these nerfs. Well, we are planning to cover this, and that's why it's so important that we get enough support. Now let's get to the chapter. Boruto chapter 55 begins with Naruto assuming that he is the one that is dying. He begins to say goodbye to Kurama and thanks him for being around. Kurama reacts like all of us and says, "Are you serious? Is that it?" But Naruto admits he isn't ready for death. He doesn't know what to say in this situation. I for one wanted Naruto to vent and express his feelings similar to when he lost his father Minato at the end of the war, because that shit made me cry. I'm pretty sure all of us cried at that moment. It's such a heartfelt moment. You gotta be heartless surprised if you didn't cry at that moment, right? Like, even till this day, even when I see Naruto meet his mother for the first time, that scene makes me cry too. So this is the type of scene I wanted. This is because the Nine Tails means that much to Naruto. But I guess the writers made up their minds of trying to make Naruto seem more mature at 32 years old. Now, in the next few chapters, I'm expecting quite a bit of character development for Naruto's character, having to deal with this grief and adjustment of power. Kurama explains to Naruto that he lied to him and that he would be the one to die. He states that he knew Naruto would have hesitated to make the decision, and that would have resulted in Isshiki having the upper hand in the fight for that moment to end up winning. In my opinion, I think Kurama has seen Naruto become this independent man that has achieved these dreams and now has a family. He'd rather see himself be sacrificed than someone he loves who has a promising future along with the commitments to people around him. As Naruto stated himself in Boruto Chapter 55, that he is worried about Boruto, Kawaki, the village, and much more. How can he die right now at this moment? Kurama's death in some ways was foreshadowed since Momoshiki's introduction, as Momoshiki looked into the future and he stated that he pities them for not being able to pass on his power to the next generation. This sentence actually had a double entendre and meaning, as he was also referring to the way of shinobi not being able to pass on power, whilst Osutsuki have it as their creed. Anyways, Kurama starts to fade away and he says his goodbye abruptly before Naruto can say anything. Naruto reaches out to him and tells him to wait, don't go, and that's when Boruto grabs his hand, shouting out "Dad" in relief. Boruto hugs his father and tells him, "How could you worry me like that?" I'm gonna cry! Kawaki also has a sigh of relief after seeing Naruto is okay, as he has accepted him as his father and Boruto as his brother. Naruto begins to explain to Sasuke that it was in fact Kurama's chakra that was rapidly depleting and that he thought he was going to be the one to die. He would never have thought that things would end up like this. However, it was pointed out that Kurama was gonna die regardless, since as we all know, when a Jinchuriki dies, their tail beast passes away with them. Now, some of you guys were unsure how Kurama actually died in the first place, and some are suggesting that he might even come back. Well, Kurama, like the other tail beasts, originally was a huge amount of chakra, the 10 tails chakra specifically. Hagoromo, the Sage of Six Paths, using his creation of all things technique, divided the chakra into 9 separated bodies based on his imagination. In essence, Kurama was just living chakra. When Baryon mode was used, he literally burnt his own living essence to create the newer, stronger energy Naruto needed to fight Isshiki. However, when it comes to his resurrection, you can't Edo Tensei a tail beast, but Kurama does mention that he will see Naruto in the afterlife in chapter 55, so I'm going to assume that the tail beasts do have souls. When we look at Naruto chapter 503 page 14, Kushina mentions that tail beasts come back alive over time, as she was planning to die with Kurama. Although Kushina might have been saying that after she dies in the Death Reaper seal, Kurama would be released, but there is still a possibility, and parts of the community believe the 9 tails will come back alive over time. The 10 tails chakra was essentially the accumulation of the earth chakra in the first place, right? And there happens to be another 10 tails on the earth anyways. So ass pull here, ass pull over there, ass pulls everywhere. My G Kurama coming back, you get me? But coming back to the chapter, Kawaki butts into the convo between Naruto and Sasuke, asking if they could finish off their chit-chat after they get home. Naruto apologizes and Sasuke asks Boruto if he can do the ting, but Boruto's like, bruh, what ting? What ting, fam? I don't know what to do! So Sasuke had to remind Boruto that this guy destroyed his Rinnegan and he can't teleport out anymore. But Sasuke, being the Chad that he is, Batman Sensei, he tells Boruto it's fine and he shouldn't worry about it. They all went into this fight knowing that they were prepared to die and his eye was a small price to pay. Sasuke makes sure to tell Boruto that it's not his fault, as he will hold a huge burden on his shoulders if he holds on to this responsibility, and this is highlighted in the future scenes in the chapter, as Boruto can't muster up a portal with his karma anymore due to being emotionally distraught. Meanwhile, we see Code sleeping and he checks up on the 10 tails, which appears to be fine. At this point, it is revealed that Code also has a karma. Oh, the prediction just jutsu comes true throughout this chapter. A lot of our analysis and theories were confirmed. That's why it's so important for you to hit the like button and notification bell so that the whole community is on the same page. Give yourselves a freaking round of applause for doing such a great job at helping, man. But for now, let me pass the video on to Yusuf as he would explain all the science stuff.
And on that note guys, I'm squeezing in to explain Code and his karma. I'm going to have to use my degree on anime bullshit science. So make sure you listen up so you guys understand everything what's going on and that we are all on the same page. Now although Code's karma is different, like it's white, we have been suggesting this for some time, where we mentioned in our last chapter review and in a separate video that in Kawaki's flashback we saw another survivor of the karma experiment. And Mado even said there were only 2 left. This second survivor could very likely have been Code. Also in the anime, after Kawaki went missing, Delta mentioned how Code seemed happy, and on the stream we made a theory on how he could have just been jealous of Kawaki being chosen as Isshiki's vessel instead of him. Code shows this resentment towards Kawaki as he lies hopelessly guarding the Gyuubi. He makes a statement on how Kawaki shouldn't have been upset on becoming Ishiki's official vessel rather than him, and that he wouldn't have wasted the great opportunity if he had a real karma instead of this fake dud. Now just as he finished speaking to himself, his white karma seal started to produce clouds, and within the mist pops out none other than Isshiki.
Oh, hi Mark.
Code asks what he was doing here, shocked at the sight of seeing his master. Isshiki starts to lament how ironic fate can be. With all of his vessels gone and nowhere for his soul to go, it returns to Code, the one who could not become his vessel. Now this actually fixes any issues of the lack of consistency. Like after Momoshiki's death, his spirit lingered on long enough to give Boruto a karma, and Ishiki's spirit still being intact in some ways kind of fixed that plot hole. Ishiki then continues to inform Code that his resurrection has failed and that he was betrayed by Amado, forcing himself to be resurrected in Jigen. Thus Kawaki's karma was no more, but Code's karma did remain, the only one who was not suitable to become his vessel. The way we understood this at a first glance was that Code's karma, due to incompatibility, wasn't able to download any of Ishiki's data, so after his body was successful in the experiment, his karma became an empty drive. Think of it like this: Naruto and Kawaki's karma is like a USB with Otsutsuki DNA data. The karma then extracts this data into the vessel over time, changing their DNA. However, with Code, his karma is an empty USB with the ability of extraction along with the other features the karma has. So when Isshiki orders him to eat the chakra fruits, he tells him, look, you can get all of the data from the fruits into your karma drive and become an Otsutsuki yourself, continuing on the Otsutsuki will. And remember guys, Amado said that the chakra fruits has all the DNA, nutrients and life energy of the inhabitants of that said planet. Otsutsuki takes that data to evolve himself and get stronger. Code can even eventually become a god Otsutsuki that has over 100 pure eyes going from planets to planets, even taking the records of all life, including the essence of Isshiki Otsutsuki himself. Code gets humbled that of all people, Isshiki appeared before him, but is sad that he cannot be the recipient of his soul. Isshiki states that the non-vessel white karma is his legacy, dwelling within Code in the form of pure power, obviously likely referring to the Otsutsuki god power, and that Code will also be the one to inherit their will. But then Isshiki instructs him to take Kawaki or Boruto and sacrifice either of them to the 10 tails to cultivate a new divine tree. Isshiki then continues to explain to Code if Code were to consume the divine fruit, he would be reborn as an Otsutsuki, and once he's done consuming the fruit, Isshiki orders Code to continue consuming. That is what it means to be an Otsutsuki. They are the embodiment of forever, trying to climb this intergalactic food chain, consuming until there's nothing left to consume. However, there is only one issue. Code has difficulties facing the fact that he has to surpass Isshiki, who he worships. So before he feels worthy of devouring the fruit, he wants to avenge Isshiki to prove himself that he deserves this honor. Anyways, we're back at the battlefield where Boruto is finding a hard time to open up the space-time ninjutsu using his karma. Kawaki knows Boruto very well. I mean, they're basically brothers now. Kawaki quickly discerns that Boruto is stiffed up since he's still scared that Momoshiki can appear and take over at any moment he wants. Kawaki starts explaining that in his life, his only goal was to escape the clutches of Isshiki by removing the karma seal, but it's gone now, and he would have faltered along the way if it wasn't for everyone that helped him get there. His cherished wish has been fulfilled, but that doesn't mean he has no reason to live anymore, as he claims that he swears to help Boruto rid him of his karma seal as well. I mean, after all, they had promised each other previously to help rid of both their karmas. Kawaki explains that he's been wielding his karma for 10 years and that there's no one that hates karma as much as him. Therefore, he'll exterminate all of them no matter who has it. I feel like this line will become very important later in the future and kind of pushes the character for Kawaki. Anyways, Kawaki says to reach their goal, the karma is a necessary tool to get there, and right now they need to go back to the village. So how do I do it, Nissan?
Come here. Shut your stupid ass.
As this is going on, we see more of the conversation at where Amado and the other guys are. We see Shikamaru responding to some comms discussing the situation that has been unfolded. Dr. Kototsuke asks Amado for his opinion on the situation. I mean, they both have the same profession, so I don't blame Kototsuke for trying to start small talk, as Kototsuke obviously wants more knowledge about the scientific tools that Amado has constructed. However, Amado is absent-minded as he trembles, not being able to pay attention to Dr. Kototsuke at all, until he calls for Amado once more, this time responding. Everyone in the room are weirded out by this. Amado was cold and calculated before, and now he's acting so weird. In our opinion, it doesn't make sense that Amado would not know about Code's white karma, since he's the one that did all the changes to their bodies and experimented with Isshiki's karma. I mean, Amado must be thinking about Code at this point, and what his actions will be, since he's quite dangerous. Code openly said to Delta at one point that he can take on Naruto and Sasuke before they were nerfed. On top of that, he's amazing at sneaking around, as it's revealed in chapter 34 that apparently he was able to check up on Naruto without being detected after Naruto defeated Momoshiki to see if he has a karma. And we all know that Isshiki trusted him enough to assign him on the role as the 10-tailed seedling's overseer. So from this and Amado's reaction, either Amado is going to work with Konoha or end up betraying them, being the reason why Kawaki ended up having a karma again in the future.
Alright, thank you, Yusuf. Let me get back to the chapter. We turn back to Shikamaru, who seems to have gotten the clear as he asks about the situation and exclaims to the others that Naruto and the others are back. Everyone is happy that Isshiki has been defeated. However, Amado is still tense as he asks for how Kawaki is doing. We have to presume, why is he so worried about Kawaki if Kawaki himself said he hates Amado a lot and he's willing to kill him? This means Amado has another secret plan. Sumire is equally weirded out, so there's definitely something fishy about this dude. You can let us know what you think in the comment section below. We then return back to Boruto, and everyone's understandably tired after this long and exhausting battle. We see a great shot of everyone's damage that they have sustained. Naruto and Sasuke experience the heaviest of losses, and Boruto still potentially weighed down by his guilt. Kawaki says, "Told you could do it faster next time." Boruto's still worked up a bit, he's kinda worried, but he replies, "Shut up, you idiot! But you know, I do feel anything's possible as long as I'm with you." Anyway, Kawaki being like, being who he is, he brushes this aside and he's like, low-key he's blushing and he's like, he can't take this affection, right? But he does see Boruto as his brother and this bond is really cool to witness. However, to contrast this brotherly moment, we're once again met with Code with his karma seal awoken, as he lists all of his targets one by one, starting with Kawaki and ending with Boruto Uzumaki. Now, even though this was expected, the Nine Tails death changes a lot of things for the Naruto universe. This fight not only impaired Sasuke, but now the Hokage is also nerfed beyond imagination. The shinobi world has lost its balance, and it's foreshadowing to Kawaki's statement on how the age of shinobi shall end, as technology can now take over. This shift in balance will force the next generation to actually ascend to comparable levels. Naruto and Sasuke will continue to train Boruto, Kawaki, and Sarada, hoping that they may fulfill this void. We also have Mitsuki's broken sage mode, which will eventually be mastered. However, even with that, there has to be a new form of technique or power to pull these lot up to the god level that Naruto and Sasuke were. Maybe it will be mastering the karma, unlocking the pure eye that Boruto has, or using ninja tool with jutsu. Whatever it may be, it will need to eventually level up Boruto to be stronger than even Naruto's prime. Why, you may ask? Well, if the story continues, the likelihood of there being an Otsutsuki king is very high. As we learn in this chapter 55, the Otsutsuki can continue to evolve to an entity of unimaginable power. The image illustrated to us was of a being with many eyes looking like the pure eye, like 100 goddamn pure eyes. So far, there hasn't been any Otsutsuki revealed to us like that. So how does Isshiki know of this ideal form? You have to think about that. It wouldn't make any sense if there was no previous or current case like it. Hence the Otsutsuki king who stands on top of everything. Along with that, in this chapter, the shot of the 3 panels representing the Otsutsuki pairs was another reminder that there are more Otsutsuki yet to be revealed. Not saying the king is part of this group, but it gives us an idea that the world of Otsutsuki is way bigger than you think. So what does this mean for Code? Will this dude actually ascend to the next level and become an actual Otsutsuki? With the white karma, he likely possesses similar abilities to any other karma user. As we explained earlier, the main difference between his karma and the others is that his karma doesn't have the ability to host data for other living Otsutsuki, but he is still able to transform into one. In the anime, Orochimaru said that no mortal can eat the chakra fruit, but if Code has the karma, then he has an Otsutsuki alien jutsu implanted into him, and Momoshiki has said that anyone who has the karma is no longer mortal, so Code should be able to eat the chakra fruit. With all that said, Isshiki said Code needs to feed Kawaki or Boruto to the 10-tailed seedling for him to acquire a divine fruit so that he can actually upgrade into an Otsutsuki. Now that's everything that we wanted to say for this month's chapter. No, actually that's wrong. There is a couple of more videos we want to do, a lot of theories, a lot of explanations that we couldn't fit in as this video is already so long. So make sure to like the video, hit the notification bell, and join us next time. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comment section below, buy the merch, and I'll see you guys next time.